The Harry Potter movies are one of the greatest movie franchises of all time, and this got me thinking, what if the Harry Potter films had post-credit scenes like Marvel and DC films do? How would they tease the next movie and build anticipation for what's coming? I was so excited about this that I actually wrote out an entire script and scene for each one of the movies and give what I think would be the coolest post-credit scene for each film. If you enjoy this video, please consider liking and sharing. It will greatly help to grow and sustain the channel. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button, and you can also follow me on all of my other social medias, all of which are linked down below, and all of which house similar content that I make here on this channel. Now, let's dive into it. So the scene I wrote for the Philosopher's Stone would focus on Lucius Malfoy. Exterior shot of a mansion. Text pops up that says Malfoy Manor. Lucius Malfoy stands before an ornate wooden chest. He opens the chest and carefully removes a plain black diary from among other dark artifacts, and on it says TM Riddle. Lucius laughs, holding the diary and speaking to himself with a cold smile. He says, "Some bloodlines simply don't belong in the halls of Hogwarts." We get a close-up of Lucius's face as he smiles an evil grin. I think teasing this would be really cool. You see Lucius Malfoy, who, as we know, knew that the diary would open the Chamber of Secrets if it made its way back to Hogwarts, but didn't actually know that this was a Horcrux. Not to pat myself on the back, but I think that this would be a perfect introduction to the Chamber of Secrets. Now moving to the second movie, the Chamber of Secrets actually already has a post-credit scene, which was actually the main inspiration for this video. In the real post-credit scene, it shows Lockhart's new book at Flourish and Blots called Who Am I? And the book depicts him in a straitjacket. Well, that one is great. I actually came up with my own post-credit scene, and this one focuses on Sirius Black. Exterior shot of Azkaban prison, then interior shot. We follow two ministry officials walking through the halls of the prison. Dementors glide silently in the shadows. The officials speak in hushed tones. The younger ministry official says, "Sir, the security review is nearly complete. Most prisoners remain manageable." The head ministry official replies, "What about Black?" The Dementors report that they have him under control. They stop in front of one particular cell. Inside, we see a gaunt figure hunched in a corner, though his face remains partially obscured. The head ministry official says, "He murdered 12 muggles plus a wizard with a single curse 12 years ago. He's been here ever since." The younger ministry official replies, "Thank God he's locked up here. Yeah, he's not going anywhere, don't worry. Nobody has ever escaped Azkaban prison." We get a close-up shot of Sirius Black's lips. His mouth then turns into a devious smile. It would be amazing to see the interior of Azkaban, which, fun fact, was one of the only locations in the books that we heard about but never saw. This scene also would have been perfectly set up because in the Chamber of Secrets film, we heard about Azkaban for the first time. So seeing this after the credits is perfect.
Take me. Take me where? Not Azkaban prison.
I would literally lose my mind if I saw this as a post-credit scene in the theaters. And again, not to pat myself on the back, but I think ending on Sirius's smile is a perfect touch. For the Prisoner of Azkaban post-credit scene, I decided to focus on where Wormtail went after he escaped. Exterior, Albanian forest at night. In a dense dark forest, Peter Pettigrew in his rat form moves carefully through the undergrowth, following some unseen trail. As he moves, he changes to his human form. Pettigrew calls out nervously, "Master? Master, I have returned." He reaches a small clearing where something pale and twisted lies near the base of a gnarled tree. The camera doesn't show it clearly, but we hear labored breathing. A mysterious voice that is weak speaks in barely a whisper. "Wormtail." The camera then zooms in on a scared-looking Pettigrew's face. I feel like focusing on Wormtail finding Voldemort would be really interesting, because we never actually see or really even hear about how this went down. I also think what makes this scene work is that it's never mentioned that this voice or that body was actually Voldemort. For the Goblet of Fire post-credit scene, I thought it would be cool to allude to Fudge's insecurities and what he goes on to do in the Order of the Phoenix. Interior, Minister's office. Cornelius Fudge sits behind his desk looking agitated. Across from him sits Dolores Umbridge. Fudge says, "The Potter boys' claims are becoming problematic. People are starting to listen." Umbridge says, "What would you like to do, Minister?" Fudge, standing and pacing, says, "Dumbledore supports the boys' story. That makes them both dangerous to the stability we've worked so hard to maintain." He picks up a copy of the Daily Prophet from his desk. "Perhaps it's time the Wizarding world learn the truth about their so-called heroes." Umbridge says with a sickly sweet smile, "Truth is a subjective thing, isn't it, Minister?" Indeed. See to it that the Daily Prophet begins reporting the facts as they should be understood. We cut to Daily Prophet articles being printed, which has a picture of Harry, and it says, "The boy who lies." I think this would be a great way to segue into the next film, as it alludes to Fudge's insecurities. And teasing Umbridge and showing how evil she can be would only make viewers think about her for the next few years before the next movie, and then when she showed up in the Order of the Phoenix, they would hate her even more. And speaking of the Order of the Phoenix, for that post-credit scene, I thought it would be cool to focus on Draco Malfoy getting his mission. Interior, dark chamber, night. In a dimly lit room, Lord Voldemort sits in shadow. Across from him, someone kneels, but we can't tell who it is because he's in shadow. Voldemort himself steps out of the shadow so we can see his face. "I have a very honorable mission for you. Your task will be one of the most crucial missions I have ever assigned. Many have tried and failed where you must succeed." Voldemort takes a pause and smiles evilly. "You understand that failure means not only your death, but the death of those you hold dear." The kneeling figure says in a slightly trembling voice, "I understand, my lord." The camera zooms in on Voldemort's smiling face as he says, "Good." Obviously, as you saw, I put this scene together so that you would not know who Voldemort was talking to, nor would you know what the mission was. I'm sure viewers could guess that it's Draco Malfoy, but that would not be confirmed until the next movie, which would leave viewers in suspense for years until the Half-Blood Prince came out. And on top of that, that anticipation would add even more to that scene in the Half-Blood Prince. And speaking of the Half-Blood Prince, I decided to make that post-credit scene focus on Snape after he killed Dumbledore. Interior, Voldemort's hideout, night. Voldemort sits motionless as Severus Snape approaches and kneels. "It is done?" "Yes, my lord. Dumbledore is dead by my hand as you commanded if the boy failed." Voldemort remains silent for a long moment. Then, as he rises slowly, he says, "You have proven your loyalty beyond question, Severus." "Of course, my lord." Voldemort then says, "With Dumbledore gone, nothing stands in my way. Soon, the Wizarding world will kneel before Lord Voldemort." The camera then slowly zooms in on Snape's face, and his face is unreadable. For this one, I thought it would be really interesting to focus on Snape's betrayal, and having him do this would only double down on making the audience think that he truly did betray everybody and he truly was evil. At least until we figure out that he's not, but viewers wouldn't find that out until the next movie. For Deathly Hallows Part 1, the existing final scene would simply be moved to after the credits. Instead of ending with Voldemort taking the Elder Wand from Dumbledore's tomb, the movie would end on the beautiful, somber note of Dobby's burial on the beach. And instead of showing his grave for the first time in the Deathly Hallows Part 2, I would end Part 1 with Harry carving, "Here lies Dobby, a free elf," and the shot of that headstone would be the final thing we see before the credits. Then after the credits roll, we'd see Voldemort breaking into Dumbledore's tomb and claiming the Elder Wand. I actually think that ending on Dobby's funeral would be a much better climax than Voldemort getting the Elder Wand, which I feel like was a bit too intense after Dobby died, but that intensity would be perfect for a post-credit scene. And finally, Deathly Hallows Part 2 would not have a post-credit scene. The film ended perfectly with the epilogue as Harry, Ron, and Hermione sent their own children off to Hogwarts 19 years later. It was the perfect conclusion to the series, satisfying and complete. So there you have it, what I think would be the best post-credit scenes for each Harry Potter film. Let me know in the comments below what you think of each scene, and also let me know your favorite, because I spent a lot of time writing these and put a lot of thought into it. That's all I have for you guys today though. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.